What does it take to become a millionaire? And I know that is like maybe your overall goal as an entrepreneur. I reached that when I was 24. When you see that, 1 mil in the bank account, you're like so fucking excited. It's like this big milestone and you're chasing that so much. But I'm gonna tell you right now that the first $1 million that you make is actually the hardest. It's the hardest because it's hard to really take a business from 10K a month to 80 something thousand dollars a month, whatever that number is, to make $1 million a year, right? And the biggest piece about it is that a lot of you are doing it completely wrong. And I want to get into this topic because I think a lot of people have it skewed. There's a lot of people who you think online are a millionaire when they're all full of shit. There's a lot of things that people who actually have $1 million don't still understand. Or they maybe just got there with a really lucky idea and don't have the skill sets to keep that thing going. So it's not all about what it takes to become a millionaire. Also, it takes about how to keep it, because financial literacy is very underrated in today's society. And I don't care, this video is for anybody. I don't care if you have 100 grand in the bank, 10 grand in the bank, $1 million. I don't give a shit what you have. There are simple money tactics that I've used to be able to not just be wealthy, but also sustain the wealth as well. So let's get right into this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's hop right into this. So number one is going to be your relationship with money. Right? You can't become a millionaire unless you actually believe you deserve it. And there's a big money block that people have about making a lot of money. They think that they're gonna have more problems, which is kind of true, but you're gonna build a demeanor for problems and building solutions around those problems. That's what being a business owner entails. But being able to accept the fact that you do deserve more and you deserve to make $1 million is something that's actually very hard to overcome, especially with your background, maybe your upbringing, childhood traumas, relationships, whatever the case may be. Maybe never seeing $1 million before kind of hurts. So for you trying to be able to achieve it, it feels like the apple that you can't reach on the tree, right? You have to, it's the top fucking branch. You can't reach it by just standing. You gotta crawl. And that is a long process, okay? And then the second piece is gonna be, in the beginning, you're gonna have low margins because you're gonna be a one-man team. You have to be able to save 60 to 70% of your income. If you can't save 60 to 70% of your income, you're never gonna achieve those results that you want. And when you are able to achieve that savings of 60 to 70%, you can then invest that money and enhance your income and turn that 67% into an extra 20% in the front end every so often. And that will allow that amount to keep compounding and compounding and compounding to the point where, making $1 million is really not as hard as you thought. But the problem is number three, is the relationship with spending money. You have to pay to play. You've probably heard this many times from, maybe bigger entrepreneurs than me or just content online, is you have to pay to play. You can't just go on this long linear path, this straight line to $1 million. There's no fucking way in hell that is ever happening unless you bought Bitcoin and you got lucky and sold a ton. That's the only way that it could really be this linear line. But in order for you to get into that space, you had to have went through some trial and error of learning. And getting advisement and maybe losing some money, taking 3 steps back, take 4 steps forward. All these different things happen for you to then have that linear line where that predictability and income comes, where you can just, once you make that first mill, the next mill is easier, and every mill after that's easier as well. Because if you're making $1 million, you're touching a lot of people. And when you touch a lot of people, those people have friends. And you just basically have that compounding interest of, hey, I made $1 million. Well, next year you should be able to make 2 to 3. It's a lot easier to make 2 to 3. Every single year that I've been in business, I have grown at least, 400% every single year. It's because of the ability for me to just keep putting my, pedal to the metal, putting my foot on the gas on everything that I do. Spend more money on this, spend more money on that, spend more money on this. I'm okay spending money. I'm okay with having my large Amex bill that I have. I'm okay with it because those are all investments. And I don't use loans. I have one credit line. I use it just for electronics and technology and shit for the business, but that's just more for a tax play. And that kind of leads you to the fourth thing. The fourth thing is you need to understand that you're going to probably fall a year or 2 short of when you can get that $1 million, because there's something called taxes, okay? You have to pay those every single year. And when you're getting into the years that maybe you made, let's say you made $1.5 million, right? And you're like, oh shit, this is good. When you make $1.5 million, you're gonna be paying at least $200,000 to $400,000 in taxes. So with that being said, you might have $950,000 in the bank. You're about to hit that mill, but then you got to take that step back and be like, oh shit, I got to pay taxes. Now you're back at 500. So you got to keep playing that crawl and climb game. That happened to me. Okay, I'm a perfect example. I remember about a year and 2 months ago, I paid my taxes and I was about like at a 960, and then I had to pay 340 in tax. So you go from 9 to 340, now you gotta wait another maybe 4 to 6 months to get back to that 9, and now you can crawl, but then you gotta pay taxes again. So maybe you get to 1.5, and then now you gotta crawl back again with a $400,000 tax bill. So you're always, going and then coming back because you do have to pay those taxes. Also, you got payroll, you got all these other things in a business. It's not always as consistent as you think. The way that you know that you have a predictable business and making millions is when you're honestly playing the cash flow game. And the only business owners that play the cash flow game are the ones who are spending money and investing in themselves. That's how you know that that business owner cares about cash flow, when they're actually spending money and investing into the business to help it grow. Business owners who don't spend money, they don't really worry about cash flow because they know they're going to profit X amount a month. They know these are their expenses. But when you have variable expenses and you're always trying to grow the business, that's when you're playing the cash flow game, and you will always have to go back and forth on that, right? And then honestly, the last piece on really what it takes to become a millionaire is just like, you need to be able to understand that you do not have to worry about your competition. You also need to worry about your skill sets though more, because when you have more skill sets, you outbeat your competition. When you have more skill sets, you have different ways you will always be able to make money, okay? And when you have that mindset of like, hey, no matter what I do in life, I'll always be able to make money. Everything that I touch will turn to gold. You will find ways for that to happen. I just proved the concept to you guys in my road to 0 to a million challenge. Like, I just started a whole new brand from scratch. I'll show you every move I make, and I'm already at $120,000 already. It's only day 22. So for that to be the case, that required me to build skill sets, trial and error, spending a lot of money to learn, knowing what works, knowing what doesn't. Like, that is the shit that makes you become that millionaire. And the word's so weird because it's like, being a millionaire is not about having $1 million net worth, just so you realize that. Like, there's a big difference between having liquidity of $1 million and actually being worth $1 million. Anybody can really be worth $1 million and have a net worth of $1 million because of maybe real estate assets, but they don't really have $1 million in liquidity. They might have $1 million in debt. They don't have $1 million in liquidity. There's a lot of people right now online who claim they're a millionaire, but realistically, they have $6 million in real estate and they have fucking loans up to 5.5 million. It's like they have so much debt and mortgages, and then they're trying to do cash out refinances and make, like, you're not a fucking millionaire. You don't have $1 million in the bank because your cash flow is shit on real estate. I don't know if any of you guys do real estate, but I'm so like done with the people who try to push real estate. Prices are going up. I don't care about the value of a property because people are like, oh, well, Wojo, you can make 200 grand in a year off a property. Dude, that's not worth my fucking time. To buy a house at 400 and sell it at 600 in 12 months, that's not worth my time, because 12 months, I can make 3 to 5 mil. I don't need to make $200,000. It's not worth my fucking time. And that cash that I would put down on a house that would make me that kind of money, I could use that cash to fuel my business more, spend more money on ads, get more traffic, get some more press, whatever the case may be, to fuel the thing that makes the most amount of money with the least amount of effort forward. And that's the other thing too. When you want to become a millionaire, you got to do that one thing that makes you the least amount of money with the least amount of effort. And that's what you have to scale. You have to take that one simplified, proven concept and duplicate that thing 10 times, and you will make that million. A lot of people, they start making money. They're like, oh, let's do fucking Amazon. Let's do this. Shiny object syndrome is killing so many business owners right now. You have to stay with that one thing, prove that concept, have more predictability, then you can invest in other things and maybe do some stuff like I'm doing with e-com and having that time freedom to do those things and invest that time into a new project. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.